let me break it down very simple for founders and entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah.
Customers have more money than VCs. I'm gonna say that again. Customers have more money than VCs. So VCs use startups to access customer money. In that instance, the startup is a middleman who makes no money. So if a VC invests 10 million into a startup, they want you to go sell $100 million worth of stuff to pay them back.
Right.
So in crowdfunding, you say, I'm a startup, a business, the customers, you give your customers the opportunity to invest directly into your business. And so this is where once you say, oh yeah, customers, because customers make your business profitable, not VCs. Raised money isn't earned. When you raise money, you got to pay it back. Pay it back in multiples. So when we talk about crowdfunding, let's say you're a pen company, you should be able to raise money from the customers of your pen. And so it creates it creates better customer loyalty. It lowers your customer acquisition costs, because the moment your customer knows that they're invested into this pen company, we now only use whatever this is, Jetstream pens. To never bring a ball pen into my presence. And so it's a deeper relationship. Of course, it does take money to raise money, meaning you still have to be a legitimate business, a bona fide business. But if you're looking, particularly most startups, they don't need $100 million or $10 million or $5 million. The average friends and family round is $263,000 to get your business started. Get that from your customers. So if you don't remember anything else, remember, customers have more money than sharks. Stop putting yourself in the water with sharks to get money so you can go get customers. Just go straight to your customers.
And you also mentioned about this loyalty, right? The word of the mouth, or maybe like partnership, whatever opportunities there. I feel like those are also a valuable kinds of moats that helps your business grow in a healthier way. Because typically on the VC, right, they want a unicorn. They want you eat the whole, eat all. They want the monopoly things, right? And then so it's just like different players come to the market, having different strategies. And then I think that there's a crowdfunding also enable certain, not just helping on the fundraising, which is you're able to, secure your next investment and then grow your business. But isn't that also help in the strategic way, which is to develop the moats against those monopoly strategy, which is they trying to eat the market shares? Because that's the fear, right? As a similar competitors come to the playground, and then why customer choose you versus just others. I just feel like there's a competition, like signals there, and how founders think about that.
So we wrote a book called Stop Sucking Up to VCs. So if you're watching this, if you're a Spark interview viewer and you're watching this, send me a message. I will mail you one of these. It's actually just tweets. We just took a bunch of tweets and compiled them together.
No problem.
But it says part of it is if you go to VCs, you're on the menu. That's why they're called sharks. They're gonna eat the bulk of your equity. So the 63% of founders are out of their business within 18 months of accepting VC funds. Meaning they diluted you down so much they can fire you, or you now work for them. And so that's the dark side.
Another side, yeah.
And so just remember, your customers have more money than VCs, because VCs are just using you to tap into your customers' money.
Wow.
So if you're watching this, we're gonna send you a book of tweets. So you'll be like, oh yeah, that does make sense why we need to stop sucking up to VCs and go. Because if once you stop sucking up to VCs and you go obsess over your customers, the word of mouth, your customer acquisition cost drops exponentially. You can go viral. When you no longer have to market your pen or whatever your product is, you become exponentially more profitable.
Wow.
There's nothing like a word of mouth referral.
Share a little bit what get you excited in the blockchain and the FinTech innovation. Anything recently get you think about it,
We wrote a book called The Space Economy.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I've got a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you very quickly about the space economy.
Sure.
If you have a phone,
Yeah.
you're part of the space economy. If you ever do an international transaction where you swipe your credit card while you're visiting Paris and you live in New York, that transaction goes through a satellite. And so we do blockchain. We wrote a book called Blockchain and the Space Economy. If you're familiar with blockchain, this is a satellite. There's a bunch of satellites in space. That's a node. And so in the blockchain network, you have a bunch of nodes. The satellites are nodes. They go around the Earth. Now you have a node system on satellites. Now the question is, what business do you want to do? In the space economy, people love launch, right? Rockets.
Right.
Very, very sexy, not very profitable.
Oh, I heard about Jeff Bezos has a new rocket ship, and then he's gonna go on the July funding.
He's going. Space Force's proposed budget for 2022, United States Space Force budget is $17.4 billion. This current year's budget is $15.2 billion. NASA's budget is $22.2 billion for this current fiscal year. The interesting thing about military budgets, they never go down, they always go up. And so launch, very sexy. Lots of people love the big rockets. They explode. There's no money in this. When they launch, they put satellites into space. There's a little bit of money into satellites because for every satellite in space, there's 5 to 10 people on the ground in operation centers managing them. But these satellites, they beam down the most important and valuable component of the space economy, data.
Information.
Information. And so in space, there's no paper. That's why also there's no fiat in space. The money of space looks very different because there's no paper in space. It's all data. And so when you have these satellites, get my satellite out here.
There's no lawyer. There's no lawyer over there.
There are lawyers in space, but no money like you think of it.
Okay. And
so when you're in space and you're beaming down data, that is the new gold. That's the most valuable thing. And for humans to address global warming, which causes climate change, all of that data, or not all of it, the bulk of it, those satellite imageries that say that the ice caps are melting by such and such, come from satellites. And so when people say that the space economy isn't important, without the space economy, we won't be able to solve for global warming and address climate change. If we don't do that, we're going to go extinct as a species. And so while it is super cool to have these digital currencies, financial products, if we go extinct as a species because we've just ruined the planet, no one's going to care. And that's because you asked me what I'm most passionate about. I'm most passionate about how do we take the data from the space economy, use data science to come up with the solutions that ensure that your kids, my kids, and our grandkids can live on Earth. And so this is what I'm most passionate about. I do some other stuff because, it's just a distraction.
Wonderful.
But
I think the currency can go to the right liquidity pool, right? To make the good projects, happen. So
and that's why crowdfunding in space is so important.
Absolutely.
You got a lot of people who want to save the Earth.